Captain America Brave New World is actually a pretty good movie despite what you would have heard, but the fight sequence between the Japanese and the US Navy has things to be improved. First off, we have the fix for the entire fight right here on the screen, which is the cwis system. This is a close-in, high-speed cannon which fires a lot of lead downrange to take out any missiles or aircraft that might be threatening the ship or carrier or destroyer. Harrison Ford is on the deck here as a couple of F-18s armed with what looks to be a harpoon missile and a couple of AIM-9 missiles fly by. Cap status does not refer to Captain America, but rather Combat Air Patrol. Now, an F-35 flies over, and this would have been a great time to use the cwis to knock it out if it was a threat. But first, we're going to communicate by not using the radio, but by flying up to the F-35s and using hand gestures to communicate with them, because we can. Note here that we've got an AIM-9 air-to-air missile on the wing pylon on the F-35, just as an F-18 busts in, firing 20mm rounds at the Japanese F-35s. Each of those rounds packs the equivalent of a car traveling at you at about 44 miles an hour, so that is a lot of heat to take on the shield. Meantime, an F-18 fires a harpoon missile and hits one of the Japanese destroyers. As he peels away, we can actually see it there. Make sure you guys subscribe, follow, as the Japanese say, hey, it's time to fight back. Those Americans have opened fire on us, and they use a stick that is on the wrong side of the cockpit because the image was flipped here to fire their air-to-ground JSOW standoff missiles. Those are the big ones, as well as their smaller AIM-9 Sidewinders, which, yeah, those missiles are not designed to hit anything on the ground and are unlikely to target anything whatsoever. Well, as the missiles are inbound, the president, for some reason, is ordering the self-defense of the destroyer, and looks like a standard SM missile battery fires its missiles, counter missiles. They take out a couple of JSOWs, and there's still two more coming. Well, the F-35 is shooting at Captain America, who disables one of the JSOWs as it bounces along the ground. Perfect time for a cwis. Then he has to surf another one, pushing it underwater. Again, a cwis would have done its job. And yeah, Harrison Ford would not be so frantic. But in the meantime, the F-18s are coming in hot. They're bringing their harpoon missiles. And again, the picture is flipped. And you would not be firing guns by pushing the pickle button on top of the stick. There's an actual trigger underneath. And then the wing gets spliced off. And of course, because there is no fuel in this airplane whatsoever, there is no massive explosion at this point. The wing just gets cut off nicely, while the Falcon pops his flares in the face of an F-35 to confuse it and dives down to rescue the pilot who's zombified in the F-18 cockpit. He forces an automatic ejection, the pilot is safe, and the F-18 hits the water below. The Japanese F-35 is reporting that this is Captain America based on the IFF signal coming out of Captain America's butt, because clearly Captain America can identify himself inside of a Japanese jet fighter, or he'll just hang out on a rock like Spider-Man. But don't worry, there's still one more F-18 inbound, fires 4 missiles. He had 2 harpoons, and he fires 2 AIM-9 Sidewinders, which remember are air-to-air missiles. No problem. Anthony Mackie flies in. Captain America knocks out one missile after another, successfully taking out most of them except for one, and Falcon sees the F-18 come back in again, who magically has 2 more harpoons that were already fired. Remember right here? They were already fired off? Well, he fires them again. And now these missiles are heading for the Japanese ships yet again. I still don't get why they had to flip the position of the stick, and well, the magical missiles had to appear one more time to be more of a threat. But they do get knocked out, and the pilot learns from his Japanese enemies and goes kamikaze dive down straight onto the deck of the Japanese carrier. Captain America uses his shield to punch out the pilot of the F-18, and as his Hornet heads down for the Japanese carrier, Captain America goes lasso cowboy and pulls up the F-18 just before he hits the deck, saving everybody on the deck of that Japanese ship. But he's alright, folks. Captain America rises in the air as the Japanese fly by and go, well done, that was one hell of a kamikaze run. And on that note, I'll tell you it's actually a good movie, so go check it out, but this was not super fun though. They need a little bit more accuracy in their videos, and stop flipping the cameras.